Hey, Charlotte Reed here. Welcome to the ranch. I am on my way out to paint the kids' playhouse. We're going to put this cool coat stuff on. I'll have to show you what it is. I don't know, on the floor. So it's kind of like rhino liner, only it's like hard and concrete. So it just goes on top of the plywood and it makes a awesome barrier on the floor. So before I got to paint the playhouse, I wanted to share with you a story that kind of scared me last night. I had a little fright. I was walking out. It was about dusk, to shut the goat pen, because they went out and grazed for the day and then they come back on their own. And they came back on their own on a different trail than they normally come back on. They came back through the old bull pen, and there's no bulls there now, so it's just this big open pen. Only there's an old watering trough system there. One of the old watering troughs is, it's about this, I could reach down, and it's probably about this big around. And down at the bottom, usually it's filled up with water clear to the top, and there's two of them, and then there's the big part in the middle where the float is, and it's protected and nothing can get into that one. But of course the big ones, hello. So as I was walking out to shut the door to the gate to the goats, my daughter's walking with me, and I'm listening because I hear some goats just going, bah, 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 like they're freaking out, bah, and they're freaking out. So I'm walking, I'm like, something's wrong. I get that feeling, that feeling? Like, oh, something is wrong. So I started walking a little faster, and then I started trotting, and then I'm running. I'm just jogging, and I'm like, something's wrong. This is not right. And then I get to the goat pen, and I see one of the mamas, the new mama, who has the baby that's probably about a month old now, so he's still pretty young and little, and she's kind of standing. You know how goats do. They love to put their front feet up on the fence, and these are, good cattle panels. She puts her front feet up on the fence, and she's standing there going, bah, bah, my baby, where's my baby? And she's freaking out. And I'm like, dude, where's your baby? I don't know. But I hear it. I hear her baby clear out in the bullpen area, and I hear these frantic cries, crying for help, screaming, and help me, help me. The baby going, bah, 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 and I start running. So then I'm like, oh, shoot, because things are going through my mind. This has happened before. The first thought through my mind was, oh, crap, a coyote got the baby goat, because this has happened before. Probably last year it was in the spring. No, it was in the winter. It was in the winter, late winter, like January, February, when I had some of the January babies born. No, it wasn't. It was summer, because he would have been out in the summertime. They were out grazing. Yeah, sorry. Oh, I'm getting my time mixed up. Oh, it's all a mush. Anyway, in the summer, there was a baby goat taken down by a coyote just that way, 500 yards from my house. A coyote had taken down a baby goat, puncture wounds here and back of the neck and on its back of its legs. And we saw it, and we had the gun. Jess had the gun because we heard it screaming. And we're like, something's wrong. And so Jess grabbed the gun immediately, because we'd seen tons of coyotes in the area. And they never really have bothered goats, although there was this one time my father-in-law, who lives across the river, had binoculars at his house one summer day, and he's watching out, and he watches a coyote come up and take a baby goat, grab it, and pack it off, and then swam the river and headed away. And so I'm like, you just watched that, and you didn't do anything? So I was frustrated. That was like crazy. But anyway, yeah, that mama ended up having like two others, so she was okay, but that was sad. So anyway, the baby goat that was down there got attacked by a coyote. We ended up shooting the coyote because it was like right there. It wouldn't leave that baby goat. It was not afraid of us. We're like, what the heck? So Jess totally took it out, and that baby goat, I think it lived, but it was not good for a while. It was like such in shock for a little while. And so so last night I'm running out there, and those stories are going through my head, like, holy crap, coyote getting the baby goat, because I could just picture him lying out there on the other side of the bullpen, not too far away, where the coyotes would have nibbled on him, and he's just laying there like, bah. And as that story went through my mind, I stopped and I realized, wait a minute, his cries are not that frantic. Like, I could recognize that his cries are sad and I'm scared and I'm lost, help me, but it wasn't like, holy crap, I'm dying, save me. It wasn't that, and you could tell the difference. So I knew that he was not attacked by a coyote at that time, but I'm still running. Okay, I'm running. I'm like, okay, he's not attacked by a coyote because I can hear him. So I know he's not drowning either, because I haven't checked in those bull waters, and usually they're pretty deep, full of water. But he's not drowning, or I wouldn't be hearing him. So he's okay, but he's not okay. So I'm running. I don't see him, and I hear him. So I'm running. I know he's not eaten by the coyotes. And I get to that bull water, and I look down it, and sure enough, there he is. He's down there standing up, and I'm like, dude. And I look at him, and he is covered in that deep black mud. You know when the water seeps out of something and it's filled with mud and just that muck, and it's just gross? Well, his back end and his back legs and all of his feet clear up to his belly. He's just standing in this black, thick mud. Goop. Gross. And I reached down, and as long as my arms are, I couldn't get to him. And so I'm like, oh geez. So I reached down further, grab him around the neck, just barely around the neck, because that's all, he was all poking up his neck. So I grab his neck, and I'm like, lifting him. I'm like, sorry buddy, I'm kind of choking you, but I don't know how to get you out. Because I didn't have a rope or anything. So I'm kind of lifting him, and he's kind of coming out, but I feel that, you know, the slurp, when the mud grabs onto your legs and sucks onto it and doesn't let go. So I'm pulling him, and I'm like, this is not working. And so I grab him by the scruff of the neck hard on the outside and around the throat here, and I just yank him up. And oh my gosh, it took like all of my efforts and energy because I'm down in the hole balancing, so I'm pulling him up like this, you know. So I jerk him up, and he's clobbering and climbing on me and trying to get out and flipping black mud everywhere. So I'm covered in this black mud as he's flipping, trying to get out. Finally, I got him and plopped him on the ground, and he's like, dude. And he was covered in that filthy black gross mud. But man, was he happy to be alive and out of there. He was so disoriented at first. He's like, where's my mom? I hear her, but I don't know where she's at. And so luckily he just followed Riley and I, and we walked back to the goat pen, and he found his mom, and he was so happy to see his mom. She actually had come out of the pen by then, come out and ran towards us, and then she saw him, and they hugged, you know, like a little goat hug. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. And she sniffed him, and she's like, what's up with you? But he's like, I don't care, I'm happy to be alive. So anyway, funny little story from the goats. There's always a fun story happening here on the ranch. And you'll have to watch the next video when we're going to go out searching for the lost horses. There are 2 horses that have been missing now for a week. We have no idea where they're at. We're going to go search for them this afternoon after I go paint the kids' playhouse. So I'm off to paint the playhouse. Check back later for the next entertaining story that's happening now on the ranch. So this is Charlotte saying, love you, bye-bye.